We just released a brand new open source product. We're really excited about it. Putting something open source to the world is always huge.
Super exciting news. We just launched a free tier for GitHub Copilot for individuals that want to use Copilot. All you need is a GitHub account, and then you can enable it directly in your IDE.
Welcome back to the Azure Essentials Show. I'm Aaron, and joining me today is my colleague, Joshua Huang. Joshua, great to have you back.
Happy to be here, Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about and focusing on AI skilling. In particular, we're going to be exploring the many different skilling paths a person can take in becoming an AI developer for apps, agents, and more.
That's right. And what makes this episode special is that we are not just talking about theoretical concepts. You will hear firsthand accounts from Microsoft experts who are in the trenches of AI and all about how they navigate their own learning journeys. And that's because we had the chance to catch up with these experts in person and hear their stories in their own words.
Exactly. It all went down at Microsoft's AI Tour when it made a stop in New York City. And the AI Tour is a series of free one-day events happening around the world. These events bring together experts, industry leaders, and technical practitioners to explore the ways that AI can drive growth and create value.
I actually flew out to New York to meet Aaron for this event, and it was a fantastic opportunity for these Microsoft experts to pull back the curtains on their personal journey. And we also got insights into their favorite practical application of AI, and each of them recommended their resources for learning for us who are on our own AI learning journeys.
No, it was incredible how Joshua with me, and all of our conversations are great as well. I think they really showcase the diversity of paths into AI expertise that exist out there. So let's jump right in. First up, we have our conversation with Jay Gordon, who's a senior program manager at Azure for Cosmos DB.
Jay gave Aaron a glimpse into his personal skilling journey and shared some of his favorite AI use cases. Let's take a look.
Thank you so much for joining us today, for giving us some time to chat about everything that you do. So from a very high level, would love to learn a little bit more about where you started in your journey with data and how you skilled up initially.
Sure. So I've been in the business since about 2000, working at various places like hosting providers, ISVs, you name it. I got my hands on it.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that was really big was being able to work with different types of databases, a lot of open source stuff. So I really cut my teeth on things like MS SQL, MySQL, Postgres, things like that. And so because I had to learn about so many different types of databases, data types, it meant that I had to spend a lot of time in documentation. It meant that I had to spend a lot of time just ingesting information in order to feel like I'm relevant in what I was doing. And that never ends. You're always taking on that educational process to make sure that you know how to service your customers, your whoever you're working.
Absolutely. And like you mentioned, it never ends. I feel like learning and skilling
Continuous education.
Continuous education. You did mention something interesting, though, about open source.
Yeah.
Is there anything new initiatives, new features that have released or been launched in the database space that relate to open source and open source developers?
Yeah, actually, what's really great is the team at Microsoft, we just released a brand new open source product. It is called DocumentDB. It is a document database host. It's powered by Postgres, and it is brand new. It is completely open source using the MIT license. I think we're all at our side, and the Cosmos team, we're really excited about it. Putting something open source to the world is always huge.
No, absolutely. Especially for the developer audience at large and our customers, open source is something that's always a hot topic. So it's really great to hear about that. For our last question, probably the most important, going to switch it up a little bit, but for your career in databases and dealing with this developers at large, what are maybe some of the more funky apps and different use cases of AI that you've seen?
Well, specific use cases that I really appreciate. So sometimes I got to write some code in Python, and I'm dangerous with Python, but I'm not the best. But it's the language I like to use the most. And so there are times where maybe I'm working on it and I have a problem and I really need some help. I need a hint. So I'll take bits of my code, I'll drop it into Copilot, and I'll say, hey, what am I doing wrong here? Why am I getting this error? And Copilot will go, this is why. Here's an answer. Here's a suggestion. And so I go in there. And so of the applications that I've really made use of, I mean, I know it's Copilot, it's what everybody's using, it's amazing. With the applications that you could actually use for it, like code review, code troubleshooting. For me, as a person that's sometimes building samples, it's huge. So I love Copilot and how it helps me as a developer.
It's really interesting to hear how Jay leverages AI dev tools like GitHub Copilot, which is a kind of AI-paired programmer for developers, to actually enhance his coding when working with different languages that he's familiar with, but maybe hasn't totally mastered.
Absolutely. It shows how AI is becoming an essential part of the modern developer's toolkit.
Speaking of AI developer tools, I actually had a chance to explore GitHub Copilot with Ruxi Laji, who is a product marketing lead for GitHub Copilot at Microsoft. Here's my conversation with Ruxi.
So continuous learning is very important in the ever-changing world of AI. It's no longer enough to just be proficient in one tool. You need to be able to embrace different methodologies, right? You have to be able to have that mindset shift.
On that note, what new things can you tell us about GitHub Copilot?
So super exciting news. We just launched a free tier for GitHub Copilot for individuals that want to use Copilot. And it's super easy. All you need is a GitHub account, and then you can enable it directly in your IDE. So I'm very excited about this.
I absolutely agree. And for developers, whether they're new or they've been doing it for a while, where would you say is a great place for them to start on their learning journey for everything GitHub Copilot?
I think a great place to start would be the MS Dev YouTube playlist. Lots of videos on there. And then there's also the MS Learn learning pathway specifically for GitHub Copilot free.
Altogether, these conversations really highlight the diverse paths people take into the AI learning journeys. What struck me the most was how everyone emphasized the importance of continuous learning, regardless of their role or experience level.
Absolutely. And it's clear that having the right tools and resources makes all the difference. From Jay's experience using GitHub Copilot to enhance his coding workflow, to Rishi's personal stories, there are many approaches to AI skilling and many different tools and methodologies. Better to stay open to them all rather than pick and choose. That was Rishi's point about the mindset shift required in this rapidly evolving tech landscape.
For viewers who want to enhance their AI skills, especially around GitHub Copilot, which came up a lot in our interviews, I'd recommend checking out our official plan on Microsoft Learn called Accelerate App Development by using Agentic DevOps. This plan is designed to help you enhance your coding efficiency and accuracy. You'll learn how to use GitHub Copilot agents to interpret and document code, and how to use and author new code features with the GitHub Copilot agent mode.
That sounds like an excellent resource for developers at any stage of their AI learning. Well, I had a great time exploring these stories and learn about these new ways to do things from these experts. Thanks for having me, Aaron.
And great to have you on, Joshua. Thank you again for joining me today. For our viewers out there, you can find all of the links to the resources that we covered in today's episode in the description below. Don't forget to leave your feedback in the comments and give our show a like and a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you get notified when we release new episodes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the next time on the Azure Essentials Show.